So here's a tutorial for your homework assignment on Trig Review number 2, question 39. We'll solve this one in two different ways. So we want to simplify. One way we could do it is by graphing it on the graphing calculator. But what I recommend for any problem where you don't have sines and cosines is just first change everything to sine and cosine. This is the same as 1 over sine squared plus 1 over cos squared x over 1 over sine squared minus 1 over cos squared x. Now, what I recommend doing at this point is taking every single denominator and multiplying every term on the top and the bottom by the lowest common denominator, which would be sine squared cos squared. So multiply the numerator and denominator by sine squared cos squared. So when we expand that through, the first term becomes cos squared x, the second term becomes sine squared x, and on the bottom we also have similarly cos squared x minus sine squared x. Now cos squared plus sine squared is 1, cos squared minus sine squared is cos 2x. So 1 over cosine is the same as secant. So that answer is D. So now the question was, what if we didn't use this method of multiplying by the lowest common denominator? What if we instead multiplied by the reciprocal? So let's try it in another way. So again, I start with 1 over sine squared plus 1 over cos squared divided by 1 over sine squared minus 1 over cos squared. So let's see no mistakes, good. So if we wanted to multiply by the reciprocal, that means we would take the top, 1 over sine squared plus 1 over cos squared, and multiply by the reciprocal of the bottom, 1 over sine squared minus 1 over cos squared. Now the trouble is, we can't just write this as sine squared minus cos squared over 1. Okay, that's not the same because we've got two different fractions here. They have different denominators. So I actually need to put these two into a single denominator before I can find the reciprocal. So this doesn't work. So the first thing that I have to do before finding the reciprocal is make a common denominator on the bottom. So that would be cos squared over cos squared sine squared minus sine squared over cos squared sine squared. Okay, so I'm trying to put both cos squared and sine squared on the denominator. So the first one needs a factor of cos squared, the second one needs a factor of sine squared. And now I can multiply by the reciprocal. So now I'm going to take this fraction, and because it's just one fraction, now I can flip it upside down. So instead of trying to work with this one, I'm going to flip upside down the denominator. And I get cos squared minus sine squared. And again, there's kind of a problem here because normally I can multiply the top of the fraction by the top of the fraction, the bottom of the fraction by the bottom of the fraction, but this one here isn't just one fraction, it's two fractions. So if I want to multiply this through, now I would have to expand it, which is possible. And if I expand that, then I get, let's see, the sine squareds would cancel on the first term, so I would get cos squared over cos squared minus sine squared. And the cos squareds would cancel on the second term, leaving me with sine squared over cos squared minus sine squared. And now I've got a common denominator, so that's all nice and good. On the top I'd have cos squared plus sine squared over cos squared minus sine squared, which is looking very similar to the last method. This is the same as 1 over cosine 2x, also known as secant 2x. Happy studying.